YouTube, how's it going? The Goat House is back with college football pick'ems for week 2. Week 1 was very interesting. If you guys want to join our pick'ems group, you can join it for free. Link at the top of the description. You're a week late if you haven't joined yet, but still not too far behind. Pick alongside us and everyone else in the group. Right before we get into the pick'ems, we do have exclusive content available. You can join our Discord chat. Few of you already in there. Plenty of NFL discussions and college football discussions going on in there constantly, and it'll be fun during the season, during games. Join our NFL Pick'ems League. Not too late for that yet. Bonus videos, plenty of bonus videos already on there. To find out more on that, patreon.com/thegoathouse, as you see on the top of the screen, and click the link in the description. 40K is our subscriber goal as well. Please help us get there if you haven't subscribed to the channel. Plenty more of this college football and NFL content on the way, so hopefully you can join us for that. Let's get into the pick'ems. So we're going to go through these games, and then the games that aren't on here we'll take a look at the end of this video after we go through all of these. But this is what you guys will be picking in the pick'ems group, so we're focusing on these games. Surprised they left some games off. But I thought last week was tough. This is, well, first let's take a look who's leading the group here. Why not? We'll do this every week. A lot of people in here. I'm in 17th. Got to do better. Dex is QB1 is in first. 51 points in the first week. 99.5%. Very impressive. Got a few people with 50, just one below him or that person. And, yeah, that's pretty impressive. A lot of you in here, so I like to see that. That's great. Let's go back to the entry and look at some of these games. So first I'm going to pick the games. Then we're going to put the confidence there. So a very tough one off the bat. Two teams that were somewhat disappointing definitely disappointing in week 1. West Virginia did win, though. They played James Madison, who actually could be a top FCS school. They have been the last couple of years. Missouri not only lost, but gave up quite a few points to Wyoming. Wyoming looked good, though. That was an odd game. Wyoming just looked like a high-powered team, but very disappointing for Missouri. Very disappointing. I don't know which team misses their quarterback more. Does West Virginia miss Will Greer more? Or does Missouri miss Drew Lock more? You know, even with Kelly Bryant being a solid quarterback, they still couldn't win, so it shows how much Drew Lock did. So, yeah, this one, I don't even know what I'm picking for. This one's going to be a low-confidence game. I think really the edge here it's definitely in Missouri, isn't it? Yeah, it's in Missouri. I think that's the edge. I'm surprised. No, what did it say there? Yeah, most of you are picking West Virginia. 67% West Virginia. I'm actually going to go with Missouri, though, at home. That's a toss-up, though. That's pretty much what I'm going with, the home field advantage there. Army and Michigan leading up to this or before last week. I thought maybe Army had a chance for some sort of upset here, having a lot of returning players and being a pretty good team last year. But they struggled with Rice, and Rice is, supposed to be what we think one of the worst teams in FBS, but they struggled. It is week 1, but Michigan wasn't too impressive against a Middle Tennessee team. You know, you expect them to be more impressive, but at home, just a lot more talent. I got to go Michigan. It's not too hard of a pick, but who knows? Army looked real good last year, put up a fight with Oklahoma at this time last year, so we'll see. Syracuse and Maryland, another good one here. Syracuse got a shutout win against Liberty, 24-0. So defense played very well. Would like for them to score a little more points, but that's a good enough win, a 24-point win. They covered. And then Maryland, who has Josh Jackson, who I liked his game from Virginia Tech 2 years ago. And they put up 79 points on Howard, very weak competition, but that was impressive. I do like Josh Jackson. This is a good game. A lot of people picking Syracuse. They are ranked, pretty talented team, 70% to 30. Oh man, I might screw myself this week, but I'm feeling the upsets here. It's in Maryland, and I like Josh Jackson. You know, he can play. It's a good quarterback if he's 100% healthy, 100% in it. The former Virginia Tech player there. So I'm going to go with Maryland. So that's 2 upsets, I guess, looking at the everyone else's picks. So could screw myself this week, but I'm feeling confident about those picks. Texas A&M and Clemson. A&M's better than, I think, the number 12. You know, they deserve a little more credit. Kellen Mond, I like his game a lot. I like this offense, high-powered offense. It'll be good this year. They do have to play Clemson this week, and they have to play Alabama at some point. Other tough matchups as well. But I do like in terms of just the team and the talent and the coaching, I like Texas A&M better than 12. In Clemson, it's going to be tough. Trevor Lawrence didn't play all that great against Georgia Tech. It's, a little rusty warm-up game. But this game could be a shootout. I don't think Clemson's defense, and they always got guys stepping up. Secondary's looking pretty good. But the D-line isn't as good as last year, so A&M will put up some points. So I don't know if I trust A&M's defense, especially away in Clemson. I'm gonna be rooting for A&M just for chaos purposes. Nothing against Clemson at all. Just for chaos purposes in the college football. But I am gonna pick Clemson. But closer than you think. We can take a look at what the spread is after we get through all this, and take a look at the other games that aren't on here. Nebraska and Colorado. Still surprised Nebraska's ranked. They actually went down a couple notches because it was a tight game at times, pulled away at the end, against South Alabama. I still think Nebraska has some growing to do, but they got Colorado. Colorado had, I'd say offensively, they were impressive against Colorado State. Defensively, they need some work. They're giving up some yards, some points there. Colorado State's offense pretty good though. They always have impressive receivers stepping up. This another one. I might go with the upset. I like Colorado at home here. I think their offense really gets going, and I think it's too much. Nebraska will be able to score, but I just don't know if they can put up a fight with Colorado's offense right now. It's just kind of my gut feeling. It's really early to tell, the identity of their offenses, but. That's just. I think they jumped the gun on Nebraska being ranked. I don't know if they're quite ready yet. Colorado's got some talent. They got a talented quarterback. They got Laviska Shenault, who I think will have a big game in this one. I like Colorado. I'm going with quite a few upsets, apparently. BYU and Tennessee. BYU was somewhat close with Utah for a little bit. Utah pulled away. Tennessee, wow. Just very disappointing. I mean, not only to get beat, but to get beat like that and to give up that many points to Georgia State, team that won 2 games last year, playing against weaker competition. So this is a tough game to pick. I just don't know if BYU can score enough points. I almost trust Georgia State, and BYU is much better school than Georgia State, but I almost trust Georgia State's offense over BYU. They got to have the right game plan here. I think at home, Tennessee bounces back. I'm surprised. That wasn't right for the other one. Let's see. At 63%. I'm kind of surprised that 63% picked Tennessee, but I think they bounce back. That's a tough one. Another tough one. The game of the week, ABC game here, LSU and Texas. In Texas. That's the key. Still a lot of people picking LSU. Just a tough game. Tough game. Both teams impressive in week 1, but not the best level of competition. Except Joe Burrow did impress me. Just the way he was throwing the ball. Doesn't matter if there's any defense on him, on the other side. Just the way he was throwing. I think I got a feeling about him, definitely improved from last year. LSU finally might have themselves a quarterback that can put up points against good teams. They've been lacking that for quite a while. Texas, yeah, that offense is very impressive. It's a weird game because, LSU is mainly a defensive team, but their offense is fine. They're getting going. They're going to have a good offense. They can put up points. And then Texas is a very good offensive team, but then LSU's got their defense. It's hard. This game's very hard to tell if it'll be a defensive battle or it'll be a shootout. I can see it either way. I can see this game being 17-14 final, or I can see it being, 42-38, somewhere along those lines. Is this the one that I got to pick the score on too? There's no score prediction here. Usually they have a score prediction at the bottom. Maybe it comes up when I'm done picking. Possibly. We'll see. That's a tough game to predict the score. I just have a little more trust for LSU on both sides of the ball. Texas, the defense can be pretty good. They lost a lot on defense, during the offseason to the draft. So some key players. So I don't know if they get enough pass rush, really. I like LSU here. I have a little more trust in them, but it's in Texas. That place is going to be wild. That's a tough game to pick, too. Another tough one to pick, Miami and North Carolina. Miami with some sloppy play, but hung in there with the top 10 team in the Florida Gators. That one they could have won, came down to the wire. North Carolina, the rebuild is already in place here. Mac Brown already doing it right away. Upset over South Carolina. Very impressive game. Not so sure about that kneel at the end, though, but they got it done. It was a great moment for the Tar Heels and Mac Brown. So they're legit. They're home. Miami, I don't think will play as sloppy as they did. They had a very early game. It was actually 2 weeks ago, even though it was considered week one. I don't think they'll play as sloppy, but I think it'll be a close game. I think North Carolina, they played good. Game plan was good. Bentley kind of gifted them a little bit. I don't know if they get those gifts. I don't think Miami give those up, possibly. I think the defense is pretty good, too. Good linebacker unit. They put up a fight with Florida. I'm going to take Miami in this one. That's another tough one. Stanford and USC, this one I don't think is so tough because JT Daniels, unfortunately, tore his ACL, was kind of ugly there. That's just unfortunate, week one. Stanford, I like Stanford. I like the Stanford team this year. They're kind of growing on me already. I didn't have them preseason top 25, but good defense. This might be one of the better defenses they had in a while in terms of just balance all around. And then the offense will continue to get better. Northwestern's got a pretty good defense. The Stanford offense is going to continue to get better. So the Stanford team looks pretty good. USC missing their quarterback. I'm going to go Stanford. And then Cal and Washington. I mean, you can't sleep too much on Cal. I think they have a pretty good defense for a Pac-12. Well, the Pac-12 teams are starting to pick it up on defense over the years, actually, really this year. But California's got a pretty good D. But Washington looked real good, even though not the best competition they played. Jacob Eason looked real good. They got a good receiver duo. Fuller's looking really good. So that Washington team, they look real good. They look good. They almost look better than 14, but it's way too early to tell. So I'm picking them. I'm gonna keep Washington at the top, or am I gonna go with Stanford over USC at the 10-point confidence here, the confidence meter? We'll keep Washington at the top. Stanford will be second. Then it's a mystery. It's an absolute mystery. Oh, yeah, we got to go Michigan. We're going to go Michigan next here. We're going to go put them at 8. Oh, boy. This is a tough one. I got too many upsets where I want to put them all at 1. West Virginia, Missouri. I might keep that one at 1. This one's probably going to go to 2. Syracuse, Maryland. I'm really feeling Maryland in that one, but that's a tough one as well. Texas A&M, Clemson. Nebraska, Colorado. We're going to have to move Nebraska, Colorado down. It's tough to put A&M should have had Clemson last year, but so that's gonna be a good game. It's tough to put that high. LSU and Texas. A little more confident in Clemson, I suppose. Might be the hardest one. Did this last year too. This might be the hardest one to do. Tennessee. I think Tennessee will. I think that's the thing. I think they'll bounce back. Tennessee, man, that was bad last week. We're going to have to move them down too. LSU and Texas. I mean, that could go. It's going to be crazy there in Texas. That can go either way. Colorado over Nebraska. Maryland over Syracuse. I'm going to keep it like that. That's what I'm going to go with. That's tough, though. I may have to revisit this. I may bump Miami up a couple notches. It's very tough. No score prediction this week. I thought we had a score prediction last week. We could revisit that. Definitely not changing who I picked, though. Those are the teams I'm picking. We're going to take a look at these other games now. We're going to take a look at these other games and the ones that they left off. We'll do this every week. Boise State was very impressive. I do like them. They're minus 11. I think they'll cover there, too. I did not catch Marshall last week. I'm curious to see who they played. VMI. They scored 56, but VMI not the strongest competition. I like Boise. I like them minus 11 too. Ohio State and Cincinnati. Cincinnati looked really good. Ohio State, still worried about their defense. Like all of a sudden last year, their defense just went totally south. Still worried about it a little bit, even though I like some pieces like Chase Young, but I don't know if they cover that 16. I think Cincinnati could put up some points on them. It's going to be close. I think they can win by 14. We talked about Michigan Army, Iowa Rutgers, Syracuse Maryland. Maryland is favored, so I guess that's not a big upset. Utah and NIU, which if I remember was super low scoring when they played last year. I don't think Clemson wins by 17.5. I didn't think they were going to beat Notre Dame by as much as they did too. I was saying to bet on Notre Dame on that one last year. So I don't think with Texas A&M's offense, I don't think they win by 17.5, but you never know. Wisconsin gets another easy one. Come on. Against Central Michigan. Some of these Big Ten teams schedule these easy non-conference. I give credit to Nebraska, but I guess Colorado's somewhat decent there. And so I guess I did pick an upset there. They're -4. And Alabama, I mean, you got to schedule something better than that. New Mexico State, -55.5. That's just too many points. Georgia and Murray State. I wish they would schedule a little something stronger there. Washington State, North Colorado. Oklahoma and South Dakota. Like, what do these teams need to play South Dakota for? Jeez. UCF and Florida Atlantic. Florida Atlantic put up some points on Ohio State. That was impressive. UCF. See how Wimbush does another game. -10. Yeah, that's a tough one. LSU and Texas. LSU's -5.5. Auburn gets Tulane after at least they played Oregon in the first game. Still can't. Oregon, I think, had that game. You know, they had it wrapped up. They kind of blew that game there. UT Martin for Florida. Some more beat-up games. Penn State, Buffalo. Penn State played Idaho last week, and they're playing Buffalo this week. That's cool. Nevada and Oregon. Nevada looked pretty good in that Purdue comeback. Oregon gets very conservative. They'll get up, and then they'll kind of blow a lead there. I'm not saying they're going to lose the game, but I don't know about 23. Western Michigan, Michigan State. Michigan State had Tulsa last week. Now they get Western Michigan. These Big Ten teams, California and Washington. We went over that, and Stanford. Yeah, okay, so let's take a look at the other games. It was pretty obvious who I was picking in the games that I didn't actually say who I was picking, so it was very obvious who I was picking. Yeah, so there's some really good games like Texas A&M, Clemson, and the the LSU-Texas game, actually, but then there's a lot of those beat-up games. That Syracuse-Maryland game I'm looking forward to. Miami, North Carolina. Even though we know Ohio State's going to win, that Cincinnati-Ohio State game I'll be looking forward to. So we will see. We will see. Let me know your guys' thoughts, who you're picking. Go ahead and join that. Technically, it's not too late. Link at the top of the description. Thanks, everyone, for the support. Thanks for watching. Plenty more to come. Thinking about doing the college football power rankings every week, kind of later in the week. We'll kind of update them. Something a little different than rankings. You know, rankings don't really change. Power rankings, they'll change quite a bit every week. So that'll be pretty fun. It's something in the works. So, yeah, that's going to do it for this one. Check out our other videos. Plenty more to come. Thanks for watching. Goodbye.